Hey, you fucks. Thanks for, checking out the videos, showing a little bit of support. How about you take it to the next level and show us some love over there on Patreon, huh? Huh? Huh?
Yo, 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 what the fuck is up there out there on YouTube? George, your boy Papa Tikyo coming to you guys live from the Japan land with another at-home, very cozy, nice rant. And yeah, you guys, I don't know what you do while you're listening to these rants. And, in a way, it's kind of complimentary when people are like, I don't like the rants unless I can see your face. I'm like, aw. So you need to see me in order. You can't just enjoy my voice. You got to see the whole package. It's good. And it goes to show that you guys like me on a physical, attractive level, and not just for my personality, which is like, I've been honing for all these years. We need to see that hot face and ass, Dad. The fun thing is like fucking ChatGPT is so I love fucking like you fucking around with ChatGPT and like asking it questions and asking it to make like AI stuff for me and whatever, like art and stuff. But like they have all these like stupid limits on it, like but then meanwhile you use like Elon Musk's Grok or whatever on Twitter, and it's like on ChatGPT I was like, I want some Asian women to wear a T-shirt that says "hot in the ass" and ready to fuck, and then it just gave me, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, we're having problem processing your request, and meanwhile I go on Grok and it's like, okay, I got you, bro. And anyway, it's just, I'm feeling very hot in the ass and ready to fuck today, because it's just, you guys are badass. I'm drinking my coffee here. Get some of that nice coffee ASMR and all that hot jazz. But, yeah, how are you guys doing today? Thanks again for always coming and checking out your dad when he can't breathe in the morning with the clogged noses and stuff. And, yeah, today we got, like, a fun topic to talk about. I'm talking about this anime that, one of you guys, Mr. Demi Spy Meow, who likes to come and check out my videos, he's like, Dad, I'm telling you, you're gonna like this anime. You gotta go check it out. He pulled a Swimmer Nick on me. Swimmer Nick was always bugging me, telling me I gotta check out this, I gotta check out that, and thanks to him, I'm really sorry, I'm blowing my nose here. There we go. There's the big chunky thing that wasn't helping me breathe. Thanks to Swimmer Nick, I really like this podcast that I listen to almost every day now called Cumtown, and it's just so fun. I love it so much. But yeah, thanks to Demi Spy Meow, I really like this anime Frieren, and it's cool that, like, the best way that I can describe it is like there's a genre. There's so many different genres out there, right? Like, there's like the bank heist, Ocean's 11 drama. There's like the Goodfellas mafia drama. There's like the home with like animal, like Beethoven drama. There's all these different genres and subgenres, right? But like, I really like how it could have been earlier, but I just feel like recently there's more attention to like these kind of cozy animes, if it makes sense, where it's like they make the world feel like it's really breathed in, like it's just like you feel like there's no stone left unturned kind of thing. Yeah, and it's I remember when they did an interview with Hayao Miyazaki, the guy who makes Ghibli movies, and he was like, and make everything except the character look complicated. Like, make the backgrounds very nice and everything, but make the character simple, so it's like it's easier to focus on and stuff. And anyway, I don't know, we'll get into that in a bit here, but we're at the 4-minute point here, so let me just shout out my stuff and do self promo, and then we'll get into the big thing. So anyway, guys, I don't make any money off of the Google AdSense here because Google doesn't like me because I'm Blake. But yeah, this is a 100% fan-funded project, YouTube channel, whatever you want to call it. If you guys want to help me out, it's really simple. You can go over to patreon.com/TKOSam, and you can sign up for bonus stuff there. If you've ever wanted to learn Japanese, that we have a whole fucking set of video library for you guys to check out and sit down and listen to, and we take you from beginner to fluent covering reading, writing, and speaking and listening. And it's basically I'm kind of rehashing and basically just teaching ADVJapan, which is the way that I learn Japanese, but I'm explaining it in my own way. And yeah, and also when you do that, you get access to the special learning Japanese part of the Discord, which is really big. It's like half of the Discord, and most of you regular guys can't see it unless you're on Patreon. But yeah, we also have a bunch of different bonuses over there. Go over and check it out. Patreon.com/TKOSam. Links down below. And also, big shout out to everybody who becomes a member, drops a super chat, drops a super thanks. I really do appreciate the support, guys, because again, this is not, you know, you guys are basically paying me to do my hobby. You're letting me put money back into this stuff. So I really do appreciate it, guys. You are really badass. And yeah, respect your gangster. Speaking of respecting your gangster, let's give a shout out to the super chat of the week. Boom. Thank you very much, whoever you are. Thank you for your loving support and sexualness. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, guys, and hello to everybody in the premiere chat. How you doing? I guess question of the day is, have you been watching any animes? And like, do you have like a comfy movie or like a cozy movie, TV show, anime? Let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, don't forget, even if you don't want to throw cash at Dad, you can always support the channel by smashing the like button and leaving a comment. And if you don't have an answer, you could just write down elf chicks are hot. Yeah, write that down in the comments to let me know you're cool. Elf chicks are hot. 4 words. Help me with the algorithm gods. And yeah, and don't forget to join the Discord and check out my socials. I'm on Twitter way too much these days, but it's fun. If you guys like my hot base takes, you can go over there. It's I don't do it every week, but I try to do it every week where I post clips from the movie Bloodsport, just because it's so good. You are not Japanese. You are not a Tanaka. You told me to use any technique that works. Never limit to myself to one style. To keep an open mind. Why? To honor you, Shidoshi. Yeah, it's so badass. Oh god, it's so fucking cool. But anyway, aside from that stuff, I don't know. I mean, it's just like the whole topic today is talking about this anime Frieren, and for some reason I don't know why. I just thought it was like a German story. I don't know. I thought Frieren is like, I know one of my mods is German. Hey, for any German speakers out there, is Frieren a German word or not? Or could it be a German word? I don't know. But for some reason I thought this was like an anime that would take place in Europe. But yeah, Frieren is a story about like the story after the story. It's actually a pretty cool concept. I'm surprised nobody has made like an anime, or like an anime with the same presence hasn't become popular before. Because it's interesting. Like like everybody, I don't know what to say. It's like everyone has the chance these days to make a good story because there's already been so many stories. You can make your own spin to a story. And if M. Night Shyamalan proved anything to us, is that anybody's capable of making a good story. Man, that guy's movies suck. But anyway, you know, like one of the reasons why I'm choosing like a Zelda video to play in the background of this is just because I really love the new Zelda games. You know, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. There's just something so comfortable and cozy about them. And I really, really love it. I really enjoy it. It's just, I don't know. It's not just like the color scheme, but it just feels like fun, you know? Like it's actually like kind of a complicated Elden Ring style like game where you need to actually level up and you got to have a lot of strategy for fighting stuff. But at the same time, it's so simple and it feels so fun. It's got such character to it, you know? And it reminds me of Ghibli movies. I mean, the soundtrack is very cozy, very nice, very peaceful. The characters don't seem like super rigid and like, fuck you, like, right in your face, Call of Duty type shit. It's like, but there's bad guys, but you gotta kill them and stuff. And, I don't know. It's just, Because, like, when I play games in Japanese, I'm kind of, like, half invested still, even after all this time. I think that's one of the reasons why I didn't really care about Pokemon after I played this app from the 3rd generation, because Pokemon Sapphire and all those other Pokemon, I played them all in Japanese. So it's just like I was kind of going through the motions versus, like, really settling in and let it sinking in. A let it sink in kind of thing. And sometimes, you know, I can let it sink in for TV shows or movies and stuff. But, you know, it's a lot easier for me to do that for that versus a video game. But even with Zelda, it's like the game and the gameplay is more important to me than the story. Like, in Zelda, you have this whole thing where you have to go find these, like, I guess, is that why they call it teardrops? Is because you're finding these pools that look like tears, and then you click on them and they, like, open up a memory for you, like a flashback for you. Is that why they called it Tears of the Kingdom? Anyway, but, like, the story's not really a big thing. You just go and travel, and then the story will unwind itself while you're traveling. And it really is the whole emphasis of it's not the destination, it's the journey, right? And I really liked Frieren for that, you know? Like, Frieren is this anime based off of manga, and I think it was 28 episodes long for the first season of it, and it's really cool. It's a cool premise. It's basically about this elf chick who's, like, I think she's over 1,000 years old. I don't know, you guys can correct me in the comments of how old she is, but there's this chick named Frieren. She's like a tiny elf, and she is super uber, she's super strong at magic. Like, she's really, really good at magic. And, like, her whole story is basically, like, she's, like, a young kid, and then her whole, like, tribe or village gets killed, and then she's saved by a human mage, and the human mage basically takes her under her wing and teaches her magic. And, you know, and, like, she's an elf, though, and elves can live for thousands of years, apparently. I don't know how long they can live, but they're supposed to live at least 10 times more than humans. And, that's fucking crazy. So, you know, she has this human mage, a teacher that raises her and teaches her magic, and then, like, when her, like, teacher dies, she basically just goes around and she stays in her area and she just studies magic the whole time. And then, like, this group comes and they're like, hey, we need a mage. Can you, you know, maybe you can be the mage for our party. We're gonna go kill the big bad guy who's threatening the whole world. We're gonna go kick his ass. So if you want to help, you should do that. And she's like, there's other mages. You can pick someone else. And they're like, nah, we need you. We need you, man. You're the badass. And so that's, like, when her, even though she has the ability to live for a long time, it's like she didn't really do anything up until that point. She basically just studied and just kept to herself. And so it's really cool because it's like, I mean, there's a lot of things I want to get into with this anime, but it's like you could make, like, they could have had the chance to make her backstory super complicated until those humans come and that human group of, like, warriors come and ask her to be part of their team. And they could have, like, given her, like, a really long and complicated backstory, and it's like, nah, I was born, you know, my family died, I was raised by this human, but I live forever. So, you know, the human taught me some basic magic and she raised me, and then I kept just studying magic. I didn't really want to branch out or explore the world. I just wanted to stay in my cozy little spot and, you know, just keep studying until this guy came around and he said I was badass and he asked me to join him and fight, and we went on a quest. And, like, it's not, like, this isn't really, like, heavy spoilers shit. I mean, that's the great thing about this show. It's more of, like, a vibe and, like, a feeling versus, like, a really heavy story. Like, it's not one of those things where if you missed an episode, you're gonna miss out on, like, a key story element, you know? It's more about, like, a long, drawn-out, slow burn kind of thing. And it's funny. It's just because, like, you know, a lot of isekai animes, they're kind of like this too recently, where it's just like, oh, this person's already the strongest in the world. Let's go watch their story and see how they help other people develop and stuff, you know? And, I mean, hell, the what is it, like, the Hazure Kudake, Ijo Nasukiru, like the anime about the guy who his main skills are paralyze and poison, and he just levels up like crazy because there's no limit for when he paralyzes and poisons stuff. So like it costs mana, but like they just stay paralyzed until he releases them. And same thing with poison. And so he can do that with a bunch of enemies and they die slowly, but then like they all die at once and he gets like a bunch of XP and he levels up and then he becomes like super OP in that anime. Or this is a different anime, but it's just like, yeah, when he leaves the first dungeon, he's like the strongest guy in the world kind of thing. And it's just his story from there. And yeah, it's fun about Frieren because it's just like, this mage, it's not that she's super fucking adept at magic. I mean, she's good at magic, but the cool thing about this anime is that, like, you can be a normal person and learn magic. Like, you're, like, starting out with a clean character in this one. So, you could be, like, a warrior, you could be a mage or whatever, but it's just about how much time you put into it. But Frieren's super ability isn't that she knows magic, it's just that she has a lot of time to learn magic, and so she's become very powerful at magic too. And I like it how it's just like she's kind of, you know, it's kind of like she's a child, like she's a blank slate, and she doesn't really have any direction, but because of the people that come into her life, they kind of push her into a direction that where she can like fully maximize her potential. And I really like that too, because like, you know, you have the regular theme for shit like that is like, oh, I'm an overbearing father and you have to do this, you have to do that, or it's like, this is my master and I devote all my attention to him because I am a loyal follower. And it's like, nah, she's just like, you know, she's kind of like red pilled from the beginning from her teacher, and it's like we learn magic to make our lives easier, but also to help people too. And there's people that use magic in evil ways, and that's one of the reasons why we learn magic, is to stop those people, you know. And it's like, it's so basic, but it's like you don't really need a complicated fucking thing, right? It's just like, yeah, you learn magic because it can be used for good and it can stop evil, you know. And it's that simple. But there's not like this overall like cheesy like we must use magic, like there's no over melodramatic bullshit. And that's another thing I really like about it too. Here, hold on, let me get some more ice. Oh, it's so good. The ice cubes. And you know, that's another thing too. Like the characters are they're very down to earth. There's nothing like overly dramatic or over the top about them. Like both of the main characters, there's Frieren and then there's Freya, and so Frieren is, like, you know, she's the mage, right? And she goes on this quest with her group. She's got the main, she's got the warrior guy who's the leader of the group. And he's this really attractive dude. And he's got a great heart. But he's also kind of corny. And, like, he knows he's hot. So he likes to, like, joke about being so hot all the time. But he's a good guy. And he really does care about people. And it's just like there's subtle little things throughout the series that I like it how they don't shove it in your face about like he's like this so you die, you know. It's like it really does take like the RPG element of it where it's just like, why are we are supposed to kill the biggest bad guy in the world. We stopped by this village just to re-up on supplies and sleep and rest for a couple days. Why are we doing quests for these people? Like, you know, like this is not the main priority. Like, this is not the main objective. We need to keep moving forward to fight this dude. And the guy's like, look, you know, no matter how big or small, like, helping people is helping people. And if there's something you can do to help somebody where they don't know how they can help, you know, like, you can easily help them when they can't help themselves. And it's not even going to take up that much time, and you have the skills to do it. Why wouldn't you do it, you know? And it's like, that's what makes you a good person. And, yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing. It's like Louis C.K. has a funny bit. Louis C.K., one of my favorite comedians. He did nothing wrong. Fuck you. Even though he's this fucking whiny-ass liberal bitch-ass these days. But he has this great bit about how his like his cousin from the countryside came to New York, and like she sees a homeless person for the first time, and she's like, "Sir, do you need help? We need to help you." And then like Louis C.K.'s is like nah, he's just homeless. You just gotta leave him alone. And she's like, "What's wrong with you people? How can?" And it's like, "Oh, like," and he's like, "We're trying to teach her our bad ways of like not caring for people because the city hardens you and makes you cold." And like she's the one who's human. She's the one who has humanity. But like Louis C.K., he like hints that it's like, look, that guy, he's too far gone. Like, you know, you're gonna have to invest a lot of time into him, and he's probably gonna go back and do drugs or be on the street anyway. So that's why we ignore him, because it's just a lost cause. Life is short. You got, you know, you can't focus all your time on all these like people that can't even help themselves and blah blah blah. And but like. So, like, and I agree with that too. By the way, you know, I've had my fair share of experiences in the past where I tried to help people who just they, you know, push them up the hill, but then you leave for 5 seconds and they roll back down it, you know, and it's like, yeah, I gotta live my life, you know, I gotta do my life and be around people who are already climbing up the hill with me. I can't just push you up. If I can snap my fingers and just like flick you up the hill with one hit, I'll do it, but I'm not going to spend any of my extra time or energy helping you do that. And I think that's how a lot of people live their lives too, but they're just too afraid to seem like an asshole, so they're not going to admit it openly, you know. But yeah, like it in Frieren House, like, yeah, dude, like, we got time. Like, it's like, oh, we've already been here for 2 weeks, and it's like, yeah, it's okay, we got time. And yeah, like Frieren is like, again, like I don't really feel like there's much spoilers for the show. It's very like, again, it's like it's very much like a vibe. It's less of like, oh my god, that happened kind of thing. It's just more of like, oh, cool, okay. But because again, like you could talk about it as much as you want, but it's like the actual feeling and experience of going through that, which is the main kicker. You know, it's not like Bruce Willis was dead the whole time. It's not like that, you know? But yeah, so in Frieren, like, there's the Ikemen guy. He's, like, the super hot warrior dude, heart of gold. And then you've got his best friend from the same orphanage, who is a priest. And I guess he was like a mage, too. I forgot what his main role was. Maybe healer or something. But yeah, he's a priest, but he's a drunk. Like, and I forgot why he's a drunk. Like, maybe something traumatic happened to him or something. But he's a guy who he's just, like, he can't, you know, like, it's funny because he lives longer than any of the other humans in the story. But, like, he still dies. But, like, he was an alcoholic, right? So you've got him, and he's also a really good guy. And then they've got this dwarf who's their the super warrior of the group. And dwarves, just like elves, can live for a long time, and they're super OP. They're very strong. Like they can jump off a cliff and fall down, and they're totally okay. You know, like they're like superhuman pretty much physically. So you've got those. All 4 of those people are in the group. You know, and they're gonna go kill the bad guy. But the thing is, the bad guy, the super lord, the Hitler, the Hitler, magic Hitler of that world, they killed him. You don't even get to see how they did it. You just see that you just hear that they killed them, and you know, it took them 10 years. It took them 10 years to go on that journey to get all the way to that guy and kill him. And then at the end of it, like, Frieren's like, yeah, I'm gonna, you know, like, they come, there's, like, a town. Like, everybody goes their separate ways. They all go and split up, and the hero decides to stay in the town that, I guess that he's from or something, and, I mean, that's cool and everything, but he's, like, when they leave, there's, like, a festival going on, or something. There's, like, a meteorite something or whatever. And they're like, yeah, this only happens every 50 years. And so Frieren's like, okay, I'll see you in 50 years. Because it's like nothing to her, right? And she comes back, and the guy's all old now. Like, the guy who saved the place, he's all an old man. He's shrunk down. He has a cane and everything. And, you know, he all dies and shit, like old people do. And, you know, it's like, Frieren finally gets it that like humans don't live as long as her, but also she's had this like emotional distance from people for a long time, and I don't know, like that you meet like two other elves I think in this anime series, and one of them is like a very like emotional, like not distant guy at all. You know, like he's like very like he's a personable guy, right? And then the other one is still it's like it's cocky, but also there's emotional distance, right? And yeah, with Frieren, it's just like she's I guess you could say she's like kind of autistic or something. Like she has feelings, she just doesn't know what they are, kind of thing, or how you know. And so when the main character or like the main hero guy dies just of old age, she's at his funeral and they're all talking about like, man, like you didn't know that he liked you and that he loved you and blah 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 blah. And like, why didn't you come to visit him? And she's like, I didn't know, like if I know this stuff I wouldn't have, I would have come sooner, blah blah blah. And she all breaks down and starts crying, and it's just like, yeah, like it's one of those things where it's like you don't really appreciate it till it's gone. And I like it how it was subtle, like I could see this in older animes where they really like laid it on thick with the heavy sad music and the people like yelling and like extreme close-up kind of thing. But in this one it's just like they really build it up nice. It's not so in your face, like, and it helps bring some realism to this cartoon. But yeah, anyway, and then like Frieren, she she's like, okay, shit, well he died, and I gotta, damn, I don't want to like I should have seen that guy longer. I should have known him long, like she wanted to, she misses the main character, right? And so she's like, okay, well let's go and see if my other teammates are still alive and shit. So she goes and visits the priest guy, and the priest guy is like, okay, well wait, I think she visits the dwarf or the priest, I can't remember really, but maybe the dwarf first, and the dwarf, well, either, it doesn't really matter the order that they meet, but she meets the dwarf guy, and he's like, yeah, I'm still alive, I'm still kicking, and he is just protecting like a town, like that's what he does, he just protects this town area or something. And there's another old guy that protects a different town. In fact, wait, no, there's an other guy who protects a town or something, but God damn it, I'm getting mixed up here. Point is, he's just chilling, He's just chilling. He's had a couple apprentices since then, and but he's old as shit, but he can still fuck, He can still be badass and fight shit. So it's okay. So she moves on, and she goes to like the priest guy, and the priest guy's still alive, and he has like an adopted daughter, like human daughter now. And it's like, why? And it's like he was going on, I don't know, priest journeys or something after their main journey, and they go by this town and it's been obliterated, and there's a little girl there, and he's like, you know what, like is anyone gonna take care of her? And they're like, nah, fuck that. And so he's like, okay, well I guess she'll come back with me. And he raises her, she's doing chores and shit, but he wants her to learn magic, right? And so when Frieren shows up at his place, he's like, hey, I want you to teach her magic, and I want you to like basically take care of this girl, like I want you to adopt her, because I'm gonna die soon. And she's like, and Frieren's like, nah, like, dude, like, I'm a very free spirit, I don't want to be held down by taking care of anything, especially another person. And so the priest tricks her, and he's like, okay, listen. He does the puppy technique, the puppy salesman. Oh, I don't know if I want a puppy. Well, dude, just take it home for a weekend, and if you don't like it, you can bring it back, and no harm, no foul. And then it's like no one ever brings the puppy back after the weekend, right? So he's like, well, just teach her magic, okay? Like, I'll figure out something, but, like, just teach her magic. And anyway, so she teaches the kid magic, and the kid warms up to her. And it's like years she spends, because again, Frieren has all the time in the world, right? So she just hangs out there for years and teaches the kid magic while she, because like Frieren just likes to go on quests and then just hunker down somewhere and then just study magic for a while and then move on and keep studying magic and stuff, and it's really cool, it's fun. And so she's staying there for a couple of years, and of course the girl's growing into a teenager and stuff by then. And by then the old guy, the priest guy, he's dying and shit, and he's like, look, I'm dying. You like the girl now, don't you? And she's like, fuck, I do like the girl now. And she's like, yep, well, you take care of her, I'm out, peace. And then he just dies. And anyway, so now that girl is on, she's like, basically Frieren has become her surrogate mother. And it's really cute how there's certain parts in the anime where, like, the girl Freya, she really shows like how much she cares about Frieren and stuff, because it's like Frieren is infinitely older than the little girl, but because Frieren it looks younger, she looks like a teenager or something, and on top of that she kind of acts like a teenager too, like she sleeps in all the time. You know, like she doesn't like getting involved in drama and stuff. She kind of like she kind of stays back while other people freak out and get pissed off, kind of thing, you know. But Freya is like, so Freya has to be more of an adult sometimes than, or this 1,000-year-old elf or whatever, right? And it's so funny when there's there's a scene where this woman hugs Frieren. I forgot why. She's like doing it to check her magic or something, and then Freya gets all jealous, but she doesn't say like get out of the way or whatever. Like, you know, if it was an older anime, she'd be like, don't touch my teacher, kind of thing. But in this one, it's so cute because Freya is now bigger than Frieren, so she just kind of grabs her like from behind and like drags her behind to like holds her, being like, don't you touch my teacher, she's my teacher, kind of thing. And it's so adorable because it's like Freya's this like kind of, she's confident and she can talk, but sometimes she's awkward in situations like that, so she doesn't know what to say, so she just like her body takes over, kind of thing. And I thought that was so cute, and it's like so realistic how some people act like that sometimes, right? And it's I don't know, it's just, it's nice and it's cute, and it's so funny because it's like, you know, again, like Freya's the human girl, she's just a human, there's nothing really special about her, but she has a canny ability to remember and like be good at magic. And so, you know, Frieren likes the fact that it's like, yeah, she's got like kind of a little apprentice to teach magic to and whatever. And I don't know, it reminds me of how like it's funny because like there's so many things that like we like media because we find things in that media that we can relate to. And even if it's not a personal experience or something, like for some reason it speaks to us, right? And like in this anime, right, like you see Frieren, she's this super OP magician, right? Like she can cast magic missile, you know, etc., lightning bolt, etc., like, but she's super strong. She's got like infinite mana, kind of thing. Here, hold on, more coffee. And even if her magic isn't like, even if people don't know her magic level or whatever, because she saved the world, all of these people know what she did, and they know that she's not like, you know, a punk ass bitch, you know, she's not faking it, kind of thing, right? And so these people are just kind of like attracted to her, not sexually, but it's just like they're drawn to her because they can see she has so much talent, but she's not trying to show off or anything, right? It's like it just reminds me of Katz, the guy who started the ADVJapan method, the all Japanese all the time method, and I will always put that guy on a pedestal because he was just he's like a one of a kind. Like, you know, people say like, oh man, you know, they broke the mold when they made you, or diamond in the rough or something, but yeah, I mean, like, the guy was truly unique, and the thing is like, he never bragged. He never fucking bragged about anything, and he just had all this information, and he loved to share it with you. And, I mean, like, the only time I've ever been around somebody who had that same kind of energy was around, like, the Rocka Boys, you know? The Rocka guys, because it's just like, when you see somebody who's so passionate about the thing that they're doing, and that they're just having fun, and they don't mind if you come along or you tag along with them, it's just this like it's this like tingling electric feeling, you know, where you're just like, wow, like you feel like I am I'm among the greats, you know, like you're somebody who I wish more people could meet so they could feel the way that I feel like that. Because I wonder for guys like that if they ever met people like that and that inspired them. Because like for dudes like the Rocket guys or like Cats, I mean, I bet there's people that inspire them, but I don't know if they ever met them in person kind of thing. Like, those are the kind of guys where it's just like they found something they like, they doubled down on it, and they tripled down on it. And sure, they maybe had their own, like, self-esteem or insecurity issues growing up, but, like, they found something that was really good, and they were able to hyper-focus on it for so long, like, so consistently, that when they got super good when nobody was looking, they're like, oh yeah, I got good at this, you know, it's cool. And I don't know, it's fun. It's funny, like I'm sitting here like almost 20 years later after meeting Cats, and like I'm a translator by trade, but I still think my Japanese sucks. And because there's always, I mean, like, it's that thing though, right? Like, there's always going to be somebody who lived in Japan longer than you. There's always going to be somebody who was able to like focus or retain energy longer than you. And it's just you know, so it's like there's always going to be somebody, there's always a bigger fish, right? And for me it's just like I acknowledge that I acknowledge that I am not the best, and I probably won't ever be the best, but I want to, you know, it makes me want to try. Like, it makes, well, I mean, what am I trying to say here? It's like, since I know I'm never going to be the best, I can, it takes away the pressure of having to be the best and just enjoy the process, right? And it's so funny because it's like when I first came to Japan, I could have never imagined myself being able to watch all these shows, you know? Like, I'm sitting here right now and I've probably spent the last couple months, I mean, for probably the longest time, but like, especially, I mean, like, even now, right? Like, I just, like, yesterday I watched Seinfeld in Japanese for like a couple hours, right? And it was nothing. Like, I watched this new movie with Tom Hanks called Man Called Otto in Japanese, and I didn't think anything of it, you know? Like, and I got it, you know? I understood the whole fucking plot. And so it's like I do it with nostalgic stuff that I've already seen in English, and I've done it with new stuff that I haven't seen before. And I understand a majority of it, but part of me is still like, I'm not good. I'm not good enough. Like, you know, you give me a newspaper, I can understand what the fuck they're talking about, but because there's some things that I can't read out loud, or there's some kanji that I don't know the immediate meaning of, and I beat myself up about it, because it's just like, you know, like, oh, I bet if Katz was here, he could read this, or he could do that. And, I don't know, when you see Frieren, you know, it's like, it's one of those things where it's just like, there's no ego to it. They just want to learn for the sake of learning, and they'll attract people around them that, like, want to have a fraction of that, like, just like even a little crumb of that energy and spark, or whatever you call it, you know? And, it's funny because it's like a lot of my life, I think, up until now has been luck, you know? And I think maybe it's the same for you guys too, right? You know, I think about, like, how, like, even just coming to Japan, right? Like, I wasn't supposed to come to Japan. I was supposed to go back home for a year, save up money, and then come back here. And I was just like, fuck it. Like, you know, like, I got lucky. One of like the 1 out of 10 or 12 companies I applied for. Well, I mean, to be fair, it's not really lucky to get a job. I mean, places like that are looking for people all the time. But, like, I was lucky that I found a youth hostel that would let me stay there for free rent, as long as I cleaned. Back then it was okay. But it's like I was lucky to find these people that helped influence my life, you know? I was lucky to find Cats, and like, you know, just imagine, like, if I hadn't met Cats, I might be one of those guys who's been here for 20 years that just never tried to learn Japanese. Not because I couldn't, but just because I didn't know how to learn it, you know? And like same thing. I don't know. Maybe I'd be in like a marriage. Like, you know, I hear people sometimes they like one. It's not really a hater comment, but it's like one of the things that I get is like, oh, you know, Papa Tico, you're older now. Shouldn't you be married and stuff? And it's like, I think that being married and having kids is not a bad thing at all. But um, I know more people who are like in a marriage that they don't want to be in, but they're stuck in it, versus like people who are really happy in their marriage. And I mean, I gotta just branch out more. Hopefully they're out there, but it's just I'd rather be single and like stress free at the moment than be stuck in a marriage with a woman who doesn't love me or fucks me, and you know, and I barely get to see my kids because I have to work so much to afford a house that like they wanted or something, right? So you know, I could be one of those guys. So it's like, but you know, thanks to the other friend I met who like introduced me to the game and let me give me the confidence and the skills to go out and bang chicks that you know. He talks about being a fat guy and getting laid. Hey, I don't talk about it that much anymore. But if I can do it, that means you guys can definitely do it. But I mean, the whole point is, it's just like it's a series of chance encounters that make you the person that you are, right? And that's why it's like it's always so important to get out into the world and meet these people. And you know, it's just this is like another thing about Frieren, right? It's like she's this elf that has a long, like, you know, extended life, right? Like you know, she's got a long lifeline, right? So, but she's just using it, staying home or whatever. It takes other people to come and get her out to really use her abilities to, and then like also just open up her horizons and meet and like try new things, right? And become more of like a parental figure, like a mentor to people, right? And I don't know, I really love that about this anime, is that like she was already pretty good, but being around the right people made her better. And but she wouldn't have met those people if she hadn't had a chance encounter, and then she'd become more of the person she wanted to be, and then kept exploring. And I think a lot of people, it's not just like like guys who don't speak Japanese who are like Reddit hater gaijin on the internet. It's like just people in general, like, you know, they get stuck in their own little bubble, their own little like hamster wheel of mediocrity and frustration and anger. And so they have a lot of free time, but they're bitch asses, so they don't know how to, like, you know, move that energy into something productive. So they just hate on shit on the internet, right? And they complain about how they deserve more stuff, but they're not willing to go out and actually get it. And I like it how it's just like, if all those guys were forced to go on a journey or something, they would be so busy with their adventure or whatever you want to call it, that they wouldn't have time to care about what other people thought or like what other people are doing in their lives, you know? And I mean, like, that's the thing, right? It's like I was watching this morning. One of the things I like to do is I like to watch Bloodsport. Like, I got this idea from Casey Neistat. Casey Neistat always has like The Godfather playing in the background on one of his TVs. And so for me, I don't have it always playing in the background, but I do have Bloodsport on my computer, and sometimes in the morning I'll watch it just to kind of like remember that feeling of like strength, honor, courage, you know, purity, right? It's like you know, we get so intertwined and like intertangled in all this bullshit, you know, online, offline, of just other people's stuff that comes into our shit. But like, that's the thing. It's like, if you have that one good mentor, you have like those good people around you, then all the other bullshit that's happening in the world doesn't really matter, you know? Like, you can focus 100% on you and what you want to pursue, right? And Frieren's like a constant reminder of that. And I like that too, because it's like, you know, I still watch Ryan Boundless. You know, he's still a buddy of mine. And for all of you guys who don't know, I mean, like, the great thing about these rants is that they're mostly for the current subscribers. Like, you know, like, this home rant series is based, like, right now I'm in a period of making backlog content for my current subscribers, so then I can focus on the more hard-hitting, attention-getting content to grow the subscriber base, right? But for all of you guys who are watching this, you've probably been hardcore viewers for a while. If you're new, let me know. I'm curious if there's actually any new people. And I mean new meaning like you found my channel like a year or two ago, right? But I'm guessing a majority of you guys have been watching my stuff for a while. And so that means you know that I'm friends with this guy called Ryan Boundless. And Ryan Boundless was a guy who lived in Japan for a long time. And, you know, he was also a YouTuber. And then he left Japan. He traveled the world. And now he's in America. And he's like, he's living in his car. But it's not like he's homeless. Like, he's got money. He has money in the savings or whatever. But he wants to, like, travel the U.S. And so he lives in his car and does, like, Uber and all this other shit. And, like, he's, I mean, like, the fucking name, the screen name is Boundless, right? So, like, he doesn't want to be held down by property or whatever at the moment, right? So, and he's the happiest I've ever seen him in any of his videos, you know? And I still get these, like, I see these hater comments and they're like, yeah, like, dude, like, you need to have at least 100K in the bank to be happy. You need to get, like, a full-on medical plan. Like, what if your car breaks down? What if you get sick? What if? And it's like, I understand that, like, people want to build a safety net. Like, it's always good to have some safety nets, right? But if you are spending a majority of your time and your life and your energy building these safety nets so that, like, when something happens, you are safe versus just going out and living your life, like, what kind of life is that, you know? And so it's like, I like seeing Ryan do that stuff because it also, like, the Frieren reminds me of Ryan too. It's like Ryan has savings, so, like, if he gets fucked over or something, like, if something happens, like his car breaks down or whatever, he can pay for it. Like, he spent 2 decades in Japan saving up money, you know, like, he has money in a bank account, but he doesn't want to live one place or whatever. He wants to travel around, right? And when he needs to make money, he makes money, and he just keeps going. He's on his journey, right? I mean, like, he's, like, it's, you know, in the middle of winter, he went to fucking Minnesota in America. He could have, like, stayed in Florida and been nice and warm, but he decided to go north just because, like, fuck it, why not kind of thing, right? And, you know, it's just like, I like it. It reminds me of Frieren. Frieren's like, she's this super uber mage that could go and easily wipe out, like, a bunch of dungeons or whatever if she wanted to and get a bunch of fucking treasure and just trade that for a shit ton of gold and then, you know, and then just, like, live off of that and not have to worry about working for a long time. But she still lives by, like, the, what do you call it, the skin of her teeth or something, you know? Like, she's still, like, she doesn't have a lot of money. And so, like, she'll go somewhere, and then she's like, oh, shit, I need money, so she works, and then she keeps going, right? And, I don't know, I mean, like, I think the thing is, like, as long as you don't mind being a traveling hermit, then, like, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, in Japanese, they say, 10 people, 10 colors. Junin to iro. And it means that, like, you know, it's like different strokes, different folks, right? Like, for some people, they love the nesting. They love having the security of a full-time job. They need that Roth IRA. They need, like, to have a house that they still are paying off a mortgage on. You know, it's, like, they need that security, I guess, for them, right? But it's like, some people, like, for instance, like me, it's like, I think even if I made a shit ton of money, if I bought a place, it would probably be just to rent it as an asset, you know? Like, I like the fact that, that it's like, you know, I like renting because then I'm free to move wherever I want. Like, I'm not tied down to one place. It's like, it's so weird for me sometimes when I see people that's like, yeah, I've got 22 years left on my house loan. And I'm like, damn, you want to be in the same spot for 22 more years? I guess if you're traveling around and you're, you know, trying to find yourself and then you figure out, like, this is what I want, and you're, like, you're willing to commit, like, your whole life to it, then, like, fucking good on you, man. Like, fucking Godspeed and shit. But I don't know. Part of me feels like a lot of the people that do that, they're just doing that to fit in. Like, they're like, okay, well, I guess this is the thing to do and it's within my price range. And it's just like, I don't know. Don't you want to have a little bit more freedom in your life? Like I was talking about it during my live stream, how it's like I don't make that much money per month, but I work like 10 hours a week. You know, I work 10 hours a week, and that's enough to pay for rent, bills, groceries. I mean, like, I don't have a lot of money to go out and do random fun shit all the time, but I can still go see like an indie movie. I can go see a live house performance every once in a while. And if I need more money, I just do other jobs, you know, and it's fine. Like, and it's like, well, what about savings? It's like, yeah, I still put money away in savings every month, but it's not as much as I did when I was full time. But I have, you know, you know, like if you count the commuting time, fuck, I don't even, oh God. If you count the commuting time and how much time I was working through my 20s, it's, I don't know. It's like 40 hours a week, but then I had Saturday, so that's another 8 hours, so 48 hours, and then plus probably like an hour of commuting door to door. So that's 58 hours a week I was working for like 10 hours straight. Or I mean 10 years straight. Like, dude, like fuck, man, you know? Like no wonder I just like like right now I'm in like mini retirement. People think that you need a lot of money to retire because they think that you need to own stuff to be happy. It's like, I need to buy the newest thing. I need to own property. I need to do all this stuff. And it's like Frieren, the anime, it's just like, look, as long as I can keep learning and I can go to new places and travel and experience stuff and meet new people and help people out, like that's all I really care about. And it's like, well, what if you can't work? And it's like, I don't know. I think that especially in Japan, they're always going to need workers, you know? I mean, like the catch though is like, well, will you always be able to live in the place that you want to live? I feel like right now Shinjuku's probably, if Shibuya developed like crazy, then probably Shinjuku is going to be the next thing that they want to start developing like crazy. I think it's going to go Shibuya, Shinjuku, Ikebukuro. And if I want to stay in this area, I need more money. But it'll come, you know? Like, I think that like, my one thing is, like, I don't want to be stuck in the suburbs. I feel like people that live outside the city, it's like people who live outside the city in New York, right? Like, if you want to, like, if you don't live in New York to have an easy life unless you're a trust fund kid, you know? Everybody who's not a trust fund kid who's in New York, they're struggling. They are fighting, but they love it, you know? Like, it's part of the fun. It's part of, like, the reason for living. Like, you can't be a punk-ass lazy bitch and live in New York City, right? And, you know, if Tokyo comes down to that, then fuck it. But I'd like to think that even though I don't want to move to the suburbs or whatever for cheap housing, I've always adapted. I'll always find some way to do something, right? But for right now, it's just like still hero's journey kind of thing, right? Like I want to focus on the things that are important to me, and you know, just I don't know. There's something fun. Like there's something fun about English teaching. Like you get to meet these people who really want to just better themselves, and they want to be able to communicate and talk to people, and it's just, I don't know, it's so rewarding. Like, I think a lot of people hate English teaching just because of the system, the bureaucracy that's based around it, and how they treat workers like shit. But if you could actually teach English where you're out of that system, where you teach exactly what you want, and you get judged by the merit of your work versus just like, oh, you know, okay, he has the least amount of drama. He's the guy who didn't show up drunk enough. Like, you know, it's like, I don't know. It can be fun, right? Same thing with translating. Like, even if translating and AI takes over translating, you'll still need somebody to use the AI and check the AI until it's perfect, right? And then even then, you can branch out. Again, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, wanting to have a career and try to make a lot of money. But the thing is just, like, you get addicted to that. You know, you get addicted to buying new stuff. You get addicted to flying first class or whatever, right? And, it's like you never want to be too comfortable kind of thing, right? And like again, like that's the fun thing about like Frieren is that like, you know, she'll sleep in a hotel or like an inn or whatever, like right in like the town. She'll sleep in a like outside in the fucking whatever you call it, right? Like in a shed, cabin, camping, whatever, right? Like she's on her journey. It's not about having an ego about this stuff. It's just about just enjoying this stuff, you know, and I like that. It's just like your life is about your experiences and what you did during it. It's not about the stuff you own. It's not about how much good work you did for a faceless corporation. I always find that funny too, right? It like goes back to the bullshit factor where it's like, well, I have a career. I work for a big company. What do you do? Oh, I help make the English teaching tests or something for I forgot. I can't. I don't want to like punch a guy in the face because I don't remember if this was a guy who was an asshole or something. But I'm just using this as an excuse or like as an example, right? Like I met this one guy one time and he didn't speak Japanese that well, but he was married. He had a house or whatever, and he was like, I was like, what do you do for work? And I was like, are you an English teacher? And he's like, no, I'm not an English teacher. I was like, okay, cool. What do you do? And he's like, oh, well, I conduct the English teaching tests, and I help make, like, English teaching test materials. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, I guess that's all right. Even though most English teaching tests don't really test proficiency and fluency, and it's more of a racket for money, but okay. But it's like, what if there's somebody who's like, oh, I work for, like, a publisher. What do you publish? Fucking games. Okay, what games do you publish? Oh, you know, like gambling, dungeon, what do you call it? What was the dragon game? The dragon puzzle game or something? And I'm like, okay. So you sell a game, or you help make a game that just helps people takes advantage of people with gambling addictions to make money off of microtransactions. It's like, everything is only as important as how you make it, right? But it's just like at the end of the day, I don't know. It's just like I don't know what I'm saying. I feel like you got to do what's right for you, but I feel like a lot of people just care about status and like whether it's buying new things or saying you work for a company or whatever. I run into more people like that versus people that really want to better themselves or really want to learn. Like there's this great there's this manga I like reading, and I'm rereading it now. It's called Parasite, and it's about this guy who has an alien go into his body while he's sleeping, and he notices it and he stops it, and the alien was trying to take over his brain, but he stops it, and he only has a couple seconds to take over his brain, but he stops it while it's in his arm for more than a minute, and so it gets stuck in his arm, and so it's like they form this like symbiotic relationship versus parasitic, which would just take over his body, right? But the alien, who he calls Migi, because it's on his right hand and right means Migi, like Migi he loves information, he loves studying, and the guy, like the main character, he's like, oh hey, if you're really good at studying, maybe you can help me pass my tests. And then Migi said this quote, I'll never forget it, and like I'll just say it in English, and he's like, a test? A test is just something to test your memorization, like just to see how well you are good at memorizing. It doesn't actually apply, like doesn't test your practical skills or your critical thinking. Like he's like, I don't care about memorizing shit. I want to find something that can help like lift humanity up. Like I want to like learn about stuff that could possibly change the world, you know? And it's like, look, you don't need to change the world. You don't need to do anything big. But at the same time, don't brag to me about working at a gambling company. Like, you're not doing anything important. And it's like, well, you're not doing anything important. You're talking on a YouTube video to 200 people, and you're living in poverty. And I'm like, yeah, but like I really like it. It's fun, you know. It's good. Like I have all this. I think that like, what is it? It's like free time is wasted on the lazy, right? It's like, for me, I always have a backlog of stuff to do. Like for example, like my friend called me the other day. I hadn't talked to him for a while, so I had all these thumbnails that I could make for my YouTube channel already backlogged, and I'm like, okay, I can do this while talking to him. I was out on the train, and I was just like, or like at the doctor the other day, and I didn't bring my book, so I'm just on my phone and I'm doing my Japanese flashcards. Like, I always have something productive to do in my free time. It makes me feel good, you know? And I just feel like, yeah, it's like in Frieren too. She's got free time. She's in whenever she's got free time, she's buying books, learning about stuff, and it's just like, it's like Ice Cube said it best in Higher Learning. You gotta expand your mind, YouTube censored word, and yeah, you gotta do that. But anyway, we're at the end of the video. Did you like it? What do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Secret word of the day is run uphill. run uphill, because we're in the thing right now where he's running uphill. Run uphill. And, yeah, we'll probably do a live stream after this. But let me know what you guys think about this. What are your thoughts on all this stuff? And like always, thanks for checking out the channel, guys. This is like, again, we're not moving mountains here, but we're having fun. We're going on. We're not moving mountains, but we're climbing that mountain together, and we're having a good time while we're doing it. So I hope you guys have a good day. I'll see you during the live stream. Talk to you later. Stay black, and don't ever forget, Dad loves you. Old Scottish Amadishta. Yeah, buddy.